And we are live. First, was it? What are you calling it? The Awesome Company or something?
The map. This is the map. Yeah.
I'm very privileged to be here. This is awesome.
Well, Joe,
Thank you, Pat and Ed.
Yeah, you're the first guest on the map.
I can't tell you how truly grateful I am.
Why are you looking at me?
Because who else am I going to look at? It's
No
just
one-
you. It's just you and Ed.
You can't look at Pat.
I'm not in this.
Don't look over there.
Okay, I got to keep eyes on Ed.
There is no guy behind the camera.
So I'd like to talk about you, Joe, if that's okay.
Okay.
The founder of VisionTech.
Okay.
All right.
Well, not technically the founder, because Tony, my father-in-law, started the company.
Oh.
Yeah. So Tony started VisionTech 35 years ago, offering just video yearbooks. That's where we started out. We started out shooting video yearbooks for high schools, which if any listeners do not know what a video yearbook is, it's basically your print yearbook in a digital format shot in video. So we cover all the sports, all the events throughout the school year, academic day, and everything is produced in a video format, which is really cool. And especially now with the way social media has impacted everything. I mean, the kids love it, the administration loves it, and the community loves it.
So you're still doing that. Where do you do that? In Brick?
Yeah, so we work with Brick Schools, St. Rose and Belmar. We have 14 schools across New York that we do it with. Yeah, a whole bunch of schools.
Okay. Well, fast forward 35 years.
Yes. So now, full service multimedia marketing. So, in addition to the video yearbooks and the print yearbooks, because we also produce print yearbooks, we offer branding and creative. We do digital marketing, so all aspects of that, which would be search engine optimization, PPC campaigns, any type of creatives with that. Branding, obviously, all the different creative aspects and services included with that. Robust website development, so we build badass websites. Media production, we can shoot everything from a full-fledged broadcast commercial to just social media content for companies that are looking to get their story out and showcase their services and their people and their culture, and then print and advertising.
Sick. Obviously, I've seen some of your work, and the one that sticks out is that one truck for, was that Salvo? Who was the guy with the dog? Was it the dog?
Oh, Salzano.
Salzano.
Yeah, Jerry Salzano's the man.
Yeah.
Salzano Services.
That came out real well.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's the first thing you look for when designing a brand or a truck wrap for a company like that?
So most of it's inbound. We get a lot of phone calls, just, companies that are now seeing, they started out with a logo 20, 30 years ago that was just not good. And they're like, now that as the competition is getting greater, they're like, we need to do something.
We all had the same one, HVAC. We had a snowflake on one side.
Yeah.
Sun on the other.
How many HVAC companies have that same exact logo?
Yep.
Just like roofing and home improvement, they all have that house that has like the three triangles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I've seen that a million times. So everything we try to do is to stand out. So a lot of research goes into branding, whether it be a branding refresh or a full rebrand. But we look at everything. We look at, who's in their market now. What do their trucks look like? We, put together a truck board. We put together a whole list of who the direct competitors would be and who, maybe not even direct. We just want to see who's in their market. How are they positioning themselves? What their color scheme looks like? What does their advertising look like on their social media and website? And then kind of put together a whole strategic game plan to really have and make sure that company stands out in their market.
Nice. Yeah. When you look at the competition and the market, are you trying to really differentiate, or are you trying to say, okay, there's a lot of blue, let's dominate blue, or something like that?
Well, differentiate, definitely, right? Because if your three competitors in your market all have blue, why would you want to have blue? Right. It's like, okay, well, maybe you should be red or yellow to stand out.
Right.
So differentiation is huge.
How long is that process? So if you're going to sit down with a business owner, start to finish, how long does something like that usually take?
Well, we could, if all the designs are approved, we can get it done within 30 days. You know, but
turnaround.
yeah, very quick turnaround. But it depends. Obviously, you know, everybody kind of, hey, can you tweak this a little bit? Can you make that font a little bit larger? Can we move this over and everything? So those are all the things that we implement and can push the project back a little bit. But
Nice. What are some common mistakes you see companies make when it comes to branding?
just overcomplicating way too much when it comes to vehicle wraps. You're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Just way too much. They're trying to get across all their services. We do heating, we do cooling, we do plumbing, we do electric, we do construction, we do roofing. You know, just the whole purpose of for at least for home service branding is really like a brand building advertising experience. You know, like it's to just get your name out there, to stand out, to catch that eye, and then have them convert to go to your website to learn all that additional information.
Nice. And the one thing you always hear is 60 miles an hour. So you want to see the truck big, bright, driving by 60 miles an hour.
Right.
What do you do specifically to make that happen and make that stand out?
So it depends on the name. A name is a big thing. Like, so the shorter the name, I think the better the branding is to stand out, right? If you have a one name organization, I think that's a little bit better than, you know, 3 or 4 words. And then, you know, making sure that the name of the organization is nice and big, and how it's designed is up higher on the wrap, depending on the roof. If it's a standard or medium high or high roof, you know, you want to have that up a little bit higher, because the way that the vans sit in traffic, you know, if it's too low, people can't see that. They can't see your logo. But if you're at a stoplight or pass by a little bit higher, we see that, you know, that those tend to do a little bit better.
Nice. When we did our rebrand, we changed the name of our business. So we went from Dwyer HVAC to our services. We can add services. If you see a name, and how often do you come across a name where you say, hey, guys, we should tweak this? And do you get some pushback with that, or is that a common practice?
Yeah, so it is, because a lot of home service providers, they want to expand in the future and be able to roll out additional services. So it is something that's brought up frequently. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of guys that are like, we want to dial it back, and we see that we kill it with, you know, electrical and plumbing. And these other services, we are still going to offer them, but we really don't want them up front. So it's kind of like a case by case, standard when it comes to that.
Nice. Do you have like a favorite? What's your favorite branding you've done?
That's a tough question. I don't want to hurt anybody. They're all very good for. They're all very good.
Is there one you had the most fun with, I should say?
Probably Salzano, because I love the story behind Salzano. You know, Jerry's a great guy, and when he contacted us and was, you know, we were kind of going through the strategy phase of, you know, what he was looking for, and we always want to try to find something that does resonate with the owner and the group. We don't just, you know, it's always better to have that story there. But the story behind Salzano is really cool with Otto, the German Shepherd, is that Jerry told me from one of our first phone calls that he loves dogs, and he would go out to job sites all the time with his German Shepherd. And he said that when he would pull up to customers' houses, they would run out to the truck, or when he would walk in, they would say, hey, is Otto in the van? Nice. And they would bring out water for him and treats and everything like that. And then that was just one of our early conversations. And then fast forward, when we were we had some visual identities kind of in the works for him. And Jerry called me upset the one day, and he told me that Otto had to be put down.
No way.
Yeah, so he was really bummed, and I was really bummed, and then we started thinking about it a little bit more, the team and I'm like, dude, Otto should be the visual identity of Salzano Services. Like, such a great brand story there, and also there's a lot of great attributes to German Shepherds. You know, dogs are the most loved animal in the world.
Yeah, man.
You know, German Shepherds are super intelligent. They're compassionate. They're very like security, obviously. So all these attributes kind of pour into the company's core values. So we were able to actually all tie that in.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, so a lot of people are on a small budget, right? So if you have somebody come to you that's maybe one guy in a truck, what do you suggest for somebody like that? I mean, I would think you gotta treat that guy differently than somebody that maybe has 20 trucks and has a little more money to put into it.
Yeah.
Do you have different tiers? Is there packages?
Yeah. Yeah, we really do try to do our best with pricing and flexibility, because it's exactly like you said. There's some guys that are doing, 10 million in annual revenue, or 20 or 30, and then there's some guys that are just doing, maybe 500K, and they're looking at, do something but they don't have that big budget. So we have a couple different plans and options based on the deliverables. So we'll have certain packages with a few less deliverables, so we're able to adjust accordingly there. And we're also flexible with our pricing. So we'll require a small deposit in the beginning to initiate work, and then we break the remaining balance into monthly installments.
Nice.
And that could be for 6 months or for 12 months or even 18 months, depending.
There you go, helping out the small guy.
We try.
So the step after that, you guys don't do the wraps. Do you have people you refer to
Yeah.
locally?
Yeah. We use Blazing Visuals. They do a great job.
All right.
Pete's a good friend of mine, and they've been doing it, for many years, and their turnaround time and everybody that we've sent over to them, and they've worked on, very happy. So, but, we work with clients now nationwide. So like Jerry, he's out in Golden, Colorado. So we had all his designs made in-house, and then we sent all the deliverables to him, and he sent it over to his guy. And then there's always a few adjustments when it goes into print. Some bleeds need to be moved a little bit and everything like that. So just open line of communication with him and his team. We'll fix that. We'll send it over, send you the files, and then they print.
Nice. Is that set up for the truck, or does the truck wrap company do that?
Well, we set it up. Everything is ready to rock. We know the specs of the fleet beforehand.
Specific van. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll design it. So they're pretty much, I'd say, about 95% there. But sometimes, depending on the print shop, they do certain things a certain way. They like bleeds a little bit larger, whatever. So there's some fine tuning after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you send like a package over? What else comes with the package? I know there's probably different avenues you can go, but
Yeah.
now you're rebranding. It's not just a truck. There's also mailers and T-shirts and whatever else, social media packages and things like that.
So we offer several different options, right? Like getting back to the guys that don't have the large budget, but we pretty much can handle everything that they would ever need to make sure that they can stand out in their market. So, the vehicle wrap, obviously, and then business cards, updated letterheads, flyers, promotional material, social media optimization. You name it, we could pretty much design it and implement it. Stickers.
Nice. So these are long-term relationships you're having with these guys.
Yeah. Some of the clients we've been working with, we've had them for 35 years.
Nice. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Joey D, VisionTech. My man.
Dude, that was legit. Yeah, Ed's a natural at being the interviewer.